had to be very honest with you. When I saw you, I said she has 3 kids and she looks that great. How do you do it?
Rock and roll keeps you young, you know, and like changing diapers. It's a combo of diaper changing and headbanging. I think, yeah.
How are you enjoying the experience of being on tour again and traveling solo, taking center stage solo?
It's really cool, actually. It's really nice. I mean, we've got our 2 sons with us. One of them is doing a bit of guitars tonight, and the other little guy might do my microphones. So it's quite nice because, I mean, I took a big break for about 4 or 5 years, and it's nice now to be back. I suppose it's a decade since I toured like this much or did press around like that, so it's a good laugh.
Now, being on tour, do you find it difficult to have your kids with you, or
No, it's cool. It's really cool. It's just like they're big, you see, they're grown up, and you know they look after themselves at that stage. I mean, the little ones are at home with Nana, but that's okay too. They're probably having ice cream for dinner and, you know, chocolate for breakfast.
Now, why did it take you 4 years to come out with a solo project?
Because I was being a mother, and I kind of figured that was important too, you know. It's important to actually spend time with them. Or else, you know, it's kind of pointless having kids if you're not going to spend any time with them. So, to me, it's kind of a balance. So, you know, and when I'm working, they're with my mummy, me daddy, and my brothers and sisters, so it's cool.
Now, you have 3 homes, one in Canada, one in Spain, and one in Ireland. Where do you call home today?
Well, I mean, I'd probably always call it Ireland, being Irish, you know what I mean? But Canada's like a second home to me because I've spent so much time here. And to be honest with you, actually, the longest dwelling I own is in Canada.
Oh.
Yeah, first house we bought like 15, 16 years ago. It was in Ontario, so we still have that part, you know. And it's great because it's like in the middle of the forest. It's a nice place to escape. You know, do the Huckleberry Finn thing, you know, go around barefoot and look like a little maggot. And it's great. Nobody cares. It's cool.
Were all 3 of your children born in Canada?
No, the first actually was born in Toronto, and the second was born in Limerick, my little town where I grew up, and the third was born in Dublin.
So are you a Canadian citizen?
I don't really know. I mean, I probably have both, you know what I mean? But I don't really know.
All right. Let's talk about your album. Where did you draw the inspiration to write some of your songs for Are You Listening?
Well, most of it was just because it was done over such a long period of time. It just kind of came from like different experiences that I went through over 4 or 5 years. And in 4 or 5 years, you go through a lot more than what you go through. I think that there's a lot of songs that people really can relate to, because there are songs that are up and there are songs that are down. But you know, as a family, we went through a death in our family, but we also went through a birth. So you have both sides of the spectrum, and you know, I've seen both in my life, you know. So I think it's there in the music. I think a lot of people that grew up with the Cranberries are actually at a similar place in their lives as me, you know. I'm in my mid-30s, so an awful lot of people that grew up with the Cranberries are the same age, and they're kind of at that age where they're having kids, and maybe, you know, maybe they're seeing their friends whose parents maybe are getting sick, and you get to that next level in life where you have these challenges that you never think about when you're in your 20s, you know. So a lot of people can relate to these songs for that reason, you know.
Success hit you instantly with the Cranberries. What was your fondest moment being a part of that band?
I think there was a lot of great moments, like, you know, getting our like MTV award and our Juno and all those awards that we got over the years was kind of nice, you know. You don't realise it at the time, but maybe 10 years later when you're sitting at home kind of feeding the baby, which is very cool, I think, you know. When you're sitting at home feeding the baby and you look up at your Shazziness, then you're kind of going, you're nursing and you're going, whoa, there's an MTV award, there's a Juno, there's all those things that I did 10 years ago. But at the time you don't realise it because you're too busy running around in the rat race and in the whole buzz of it all. So it's nice to look back and kind of go, God, that was a great accomplishment. And then to actually have your family and then to come back and tour again, you know. So I feel like I'm very blessed, very fortunate, and I'm still quite young, you know, so it's good.
Absolutely. I mean, you're coming out with a solo album, performing here at the Jazz Festival, which we're very excited about. Yeah. Would you consider your music jazzy?
No. I mean, that would be totally pushing it, wouldn't it?
I know. Well, it's a jazz festival.
I know. Yeah, it's totally weird. I was going to try to do a jazz song, but I don't know. I'm not really good. I don't have that vibe, you know. I don't really think that I'm good at that.
Would you say that you're much happier today than you were when you were at the Cranberries? Because I read that you kind of went through a little bit of a depression. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm definitely happier. I mean, I think I'm at that place now in my life where you know, you're born into a family and you grow up with them and stuff like that, and you go through all your weirdness of being a teenager and trying to find where you belong. And then you know, some people get famous, some don't. Some people fall in love, whatever. Everybody's trip is different. But for me, it was like the whole getting famous thing wrecked my head a little bit, because I had a difficult relationship when I was very young, and it was troublesome, a very troublesome time for me. You know, not to do with the fame, but my own personal life is troublesome behind the scenes. No need to argue. It's written about that whole thing. You know, it was a huge album and all that, so that was a good thing that came out of that nasty relationship. It was a great album. But you know, when I look back, I think it was a hard time, but it's great to come out the other side and to find love, to be married, to have kids, and to still be rocking. It's cool.
Still be rocking. So what do you want people to know about Are You Listening? What's the message behind it?
I suppose there's not really a big "Hey Man" message, dude, or anything like that. But do you know, I think it's a really good record. And I think a lot of people would find comfort in the songs, and they're not the type of songs that can be manufactured, which is very nice, you know, because there's so much manufactured rubbish in the world that it's nice to actually, you know, to kind of still stick with what you're good at and do what you believe in, as opposed to kind of selling out and writing bubblegum.